Hello, welcome back to our episode of Videocast. And on this weekly episode, I'm going to talk and continue my explanation about designing awesomely amazing slideshow. And after learning the basic of slideshow design using Kawasaki's 10-20-30 rule, now I'm going to explore deeper into the art of designing and creating slideshow. And what we are going to learn in this episode is how to make our slideshow interesting, amazingly, awesomely attractive. And I'm going to start first with the three principles of designing slideshow. First, focus on content. No matter how hard it is, no matter how difficult it is, whatever your topic is, always focus on content. Don't think about anything else. Content first. Look, when you do your presentation, you are going to deliver a message. This message can be informative, this message can also be persuasive. Whatever it is, you want to send a message to your audience. And the best way to make that message delivered is to make your message easy to understand, easy to follow. So content first. After you have after you have created the basic layout of your content, then you think about design. You think about how to create a slideshow which is interesting for people to look at. Because doing presentation is not just oral delivery, it's not just talk and talk. With technology, with slideshow software, presentation software, besides talking, you also show visuals. So you need to make your slideshow as interesting as possible. But the make the right way to make your slideshow interesting is to think about simplicity. As long as your slideshow is simple, you will always get your message delivered. No matter how difficult your topic is, you can always send the message in your presentation if your slideshow is simple enough for people to understand. Your audience may not have the same education as you. Sometimes you have the luxury of doing presentation in front of highly educated people, but most of the time you will have to do presentation in front of people from different backgrounds of education. Some of your audience might be highly educated, some others might not be highly educated. So if you talk high, then people from the low class don't understand you. Now you have to find a way that can achieve balance. Therefore, people from high class, middle class, and low class understand your presentation. And that's why I say that you have to focus first on content. Try to make your content as simple as possible. Then you design your slideshow. Then you think about simplicity. So let's start first. KISS. Keep it simple. Keep your slideshow as simple as possible. Yeah. Take a look at picture on the left. That is not a good slideshow. Confusing. Too many information. You have numbers, you have sentences, there are also pie charts and photos. The point is actually about the number, the percentage of female and male smokers in Japan. So the slide on the right is great. It has balance. You have enough information comparing female and male smoker in Japan with a nice illustration of cigarette, burning cigarette in an ashtray. So the slide on the right is a good slide because it is simple and to the point. Next, limit bullet points and text. The tendency among Indonesian presenters is to put as many words as possible in one slide. Maybe they think they look cool. Maybe it shows how sophisticated they are as a presenter. But according to modern principle, this kind of slide is eye chart. You know eye chart? You know, the table consisting of big letter, small letter. When you go to optician to make your eyeglass, you will have to sit and read the big small letter. That's eye chart. Are you going to tell your audience to look at the slide and read with you? Hey, your audience can read faster than you. This is the typical slide where the presenter uses it because the presenter doesn't master her presentation. If you say that you master, that you know what your presentation is all about, then don't ever make this kind of slide. Put simple sentence in your slide, but don't oversimplify it, because this is what people do when they oversimplify everything. So Indonesian presenters mostly do this. They create bullet list after bullet list in every slide. So if there are 20 slides, most of the time 19, 18 out of 20 slides consist of bullet points. Can you imagine what do you feel after looking at bullet points for 3 slides? Yeah, you're gonna be bored. You just want to go to sleep. This is what happens when you fill your slide with just bullet list, bullet list, bullet list. That is oversimplifying. What you have to do is to make your slide as simple as possible and to the point. Like this slide. Okay, maybe this is too difficult to guess. How about this? Oh, easy, right? 72% of part-time workers in Japan are women. See? Only one sentence. And there's a picture of female employee in the background. This picture, the picture and the sentence work together. They support each other. How about the details? Where are the details? You are the presenter. You provide the details. You just show the main point to your audience. And as the speaker, you talk and elaborate the details. Remember, people don't come to your presentation to read. Right? People don't come to presentation to read. Do you come to a presentation to read? No. When someone gives a presentation in front of you, you don't read. You listen and you watch. If you want me to read, give me the handout. Don't ask me to listen to you. Give me the handout so I can read. So you see, limit bullet points and text. Just give the most important sentence in your slide and you'll elaborate, explain the details orally. After that, limit transition builds and bullets animation. I believe you feel that there are some people who like to show off, who like to display their amazing skill in doing presentation and creating slideshow. Well, we have transition effect, we have animation effect in PowerPoint. They are there, they are there as tools for us to be creative. And there is nothing wrong with that actually. There is nothing wrong. The problem here, some people, instead of using the animation transition effect effectively, some people like to abuse the effects just to show off, just to show the people how good they are as a presenter and as a power user of PowerPoint. Is that always the case? Now let me give you example. I believe this is the one that you often see. Probably you also have done it. Whoa, we have words bouncing. They are slow. There is a burning words. Oh, what is that? There's a words coming out of the screen and there's spinning and they are taking so long. Come on. How long should I wait for that? Oh, you have this flashy. Do you really think people are amazed with that? Do you really think your audience will say, oh, look how cool that guy is? This is 2014. Millions of people know PowerPoint and they use PowerPoint on daily basis. That means you are not the only one. I'm not the only one who can create animation effect like that. I'm not the only one. Some people even better. Some people are even better than me. So cut the nonsense. When you want to do presentation, you focus on the content. So whatever information you have in your slide, just give that away to your audience. Don't make them wait for don't make them wait just to be able to understand the whole content of your presentation. So instead of the those stupid extravagant of transition animation effect, this is the one that you actually should do. Oh, okay, you see that? Oh, you see word jumping, going left, going right, going back. Ooh, what is so cool about that? Nothing. This is what you should do. See? Simple enough, right? Just wipe effect. No bullet points. Very simple. So this is what you have to do. Then, when we talk about using graphic, photo, pictures, illustration, make sure you put high quality graphic. They don't have to be 1 million megapixel. 400 times 300 pixels are enough because they are small enough and they are small enough to be enlarged. So when you enlarge picture of 400 times 300 resolution, you don't have to worry if the picture becomes pixelated. You don't have to worry. But if you can get megapixel picture, 1 megapixel, 5 megapixel, they're even better. Yeah. But the lowest resolution of photo you can put in your slide is 400 times 300. Use your aesthetic sense when you put picture in your slide. You want to fill your slide with picture? Fine. But make your picture as normal as possible. Don't stretch it, don't stretch it horizontally, don't stretch it vertically, and don't even tile it. That's horrible. This is horrible. So use your common sense, use your aesthetic sense. As a designer of slideshow, you are an artist. When you stand and deliver your slideshow, you are a presenter. But when you create and design your slideshow, you are an artist. So think and act like an artist when you design your slideshow. Don't do any of these examples. They are wrong. And when you put pictures in your slide, use the pictures wisely. Don't use too many pictures. They are going to be confusing. Like this one, Bill Gates. This is the photo of his presentation when he was introducing Windows Vista. He was the CEO of Microsoft. And look at his slide. Confusing, cluttered. There are so many words, too many pictures. So it's confusing. How are you going to understand this slideshow? Are you going to start from the top to the bottom? Are you going to start from left to the right? See? Confusing. You don't even know where to begin. And looking at this slide, I believe you will need more than 5 minutes to understand it. And instead of looking cool, putting too many pictures in one slide and words make your slideshow becomes noisy because there is no space for our brain to understand and comprehend the information. Now, Steve Jobs is way better. Steve Jobs' presentation is way better because take a look at this photo. His slide, very simple, right? Only one phrase, three words, and three pictures. Only three pictures. I don't know what he's talking about, but looking at the words and the pictures, We can talk, we can feel what he's talking about. The slide is very simple, easy to understand, easy to our eyes, because there are only three pictures. Our brain can process the information quickly rather than looking at Bill Gates' slideshow with so many pictures, so many words. Steve Jobs' slideshow is simple enough. It's easy to our eyes and easy for our brain. Then, when you design your slideshow, think about focal point. There must be a central focus in your slide. So you can put pictures, you can put sentence, but you have to make your picture work together with your sentence. Your sentence must support the picture must support the sentence. Now we have two slides. I'm going to compare them. Now, according to our gut feeling, the slide on the right is good. Okay, but I'm going to explain why the slide on the left is not good. The slide on the left is totally wrong. The picture is too small. Uh, I believe the picture is quite good, but because the picture is too small, we don't, as audience, we cannot enjoy it. And then there are too many words, too many sentences. How are you going to understand the slide on the left? How is your brain is going to process the information? Because there are too many points of concentration. Are you going to focus on the titles or are you going to focus on the text? And how about the photos? See, there is no focal point for the left slide. There is no focal point because there are just too many information, too many sentences, too many words, and the picture are just too small to explain the words, the information. A picture on the right, the slide on the right is correct. It is easy to our eyes, easy to our brain, and the focal point is singular. There is single focal point, and you just connect the sentence you read with the picture that you see in the background. So that's what I mean with focal point. More example. This is from my student's presentation. Now this slide is almost good. Almost good. The title is simple enough, explanation is also simple enough. Problem is the picture are just too small and there are too many pictures. The topic is simple enough, spinach. So just put one picture of spinach. Why does why why does the writer why does the presenter feel need to use two pictures? It doesn't make sense. You have the topic spinach. Okay, one picture of spinach is enough. This is also not good. The message are actually very simple. The problem, somehow the presenter feels the need to give as many pictures as possible just to explain the message, which is totally not necessary, totally not relevant. Let's talk about engaging intellectual activities. Picture of chess is enough. I mean, chess is an intelligent game. Healthy food. We already have one picture of fruits, vegetable. Why do we need to see three pictures? Consuming vitamin, one picture is enough. So this slide is a good example of a presenter overgeneralizing and overdoing his presentation. So if you have put the message simple, then just give one relevant picture for every message. That's why this slide is better. This slide is better. Traveling revitalizes ourselves. And there are three arguments: reduce stress level, help breaking monotony in life, and help us sustain our energy. For every idea, there is one representation, one picture to represent one idea. And the picture are relevant. The picture are interconnected with the ideas. So this is a good example of combining picture with words. So the message is very simple, and the picture is also simple enough to understand. More example like this. And how about this one? Yeah, again, too many pictures. The key information is actually about negative impacts of fast food. So a photo of burger and french fries is enough. Why do we need to look at logo of international brand fast food restaurant? There is no need for that. See, this is what I mean with too many information can be confusing. And sometimes you can go without words at all. You just show picture and arrange the pictures in a well articulated way so that whoever look at the pictures understand what you are talking about. Here we're looking at picture of how our brain function and help us in our daily activity. That our brain help us to that our brain work when we are working, when we are doing sport, when we eat, when we study, and our brain also work when we are sleeping. Enough, simple enough. No words, but the pictures are very clear, quite big, so it makes our brain easier to process the image and the message. People are using photo in their slide. That's great, but don't use clip art. They are cheesy. By today's standard, using clip art in your slideshow is cheesy. 2000, again, we are in 2014. It's not that difficult to find a good professional photo to be put in our slide. Even if you don't have money to buy professional photo, you can always find free picture, free photo in on internet. You just type the keyword on Google, and Google will provide you with so many choices, millions of choices of professional photo which you can get for free. You don't need to pay. So why do you bother using clip art? The reason why we still have clip art, well, back in the past, 20 years ago, when internet was not as this cool, it was hard for people to find illustration or photo which they can use in their slide. So Microsoft came up with the idea of giving clip art. But time changed. We are now in 2014. We don't really need to find clip. We don't need to use clip art in our slide. Come on. You're not doing presentation in front of children. You're doing presentation in front of business people, adults. So treat them like one. Treat your audience as adult. Even children will expect you to use real human photo, not illustration, not cartoon. And when you use your PowerPoint, try as best as you can to modify the template. Yeah. The slide on the left is a nice example of standard template which we always find in PowerPoint. But if you say that you are a great power, if you think you are a power user of PowerPoint, then you must have the creativity to modify your PowerPoint template. You can use the same template, but try. Well, you can change the color of the background, or you change the font. So if you are a true power user of PowerPoint, don't stick with the template. Use your creativity. Be an artist. Try to change the background color of your slide. Try to change the color of your font. And when you use illustration, well, I think you have to use your illustration wisely, because you can put as many pictures as possible in one slide, but I believe that a single picture paints 1,000 words. This is not my saying, but it's a saying that many people agree. A single picture paints 1,000 words. There is no need to find many pictures if you can find one picture that describes everything. So the maximum pictures you can put in your slide R, R3, like this one. This is a good slide. Simple enough, simple sentence. Problem, there is no picture. However, there is a good thing. As we can see in this slide, the topic is about tomato, and the background color of the PowerPoint slide is different. It's not standard. It's the color of tomato, red. See, this is what I mean with creativity. So don't be satisfied with the standard template. Try to make your slideshow different. And you can do that simply by changing the background color or changing the typography of the slideshow. This is also a good example. Plain background, plain white background, but with the addition of boxes and then photos with text box. This slide looks different. It doesn't look like the usual template we often see in our PowerPoint. So again, creativity. You're an artist. When you design, create your slideshow, you become an artist. Arrange the picture nicely, like this one. Picture on the left is balanced with picture on the right. They are in the same position. So this is what I mean with using aesthetic sense. Remember, as a presenter and as a designer of slideshow, you are not just presenter. You are an artist. Nowadays, people use chart to explain data. They are good, but every chart has its own function. So let's start first with pie chart. Pie chart is great to describe percentage. Don't ever use pie chart for anything else. Just use pie chart for describing percentage. There is no better way. If you want to use bar chart, you have two choices: vertical bar chart and horizontal bar chart. Vertical bar chart is great for describing changes in quantity. However, for horizontal bar chart, this is better for comparing quantities. And line chart, well, we use line chart to show trend. So every chart has its own function. This is the basic principle of pie chart, vertical bar chart, horizontal bar chart, and line chart. Now there are there are many other kinds of charts you can create on your PowerPoint, but basically people use these four. How about table? Well, table is great, but table is better if you want to hide numbers. Yeah. You see, when you give chart such as vertical bar chart, you don't just describe data, you visualize the data. But if you want to hide data, if you say there is a number that you want to hide, then the best way to do that is by using table. The problem here, your audience will not like it. Your audience might prefer to have bar chart instead of table. So, as a presenter, you're the one who will have to decide. Using color. Well, color is very important when you design your slideshow. Whether it is for color background or for the color of your font, every color has meaning. Bright colors tend to be warm and active. Dark color tend to be cool and passive. So adjust the color of your slideshow with your topic. If your topic is about holiday, then you use bright colors. If your topic is about something sad, such as disease, sickness, then you use cool passive color. If you are talking about serious stuff such as economy, you might want to consider dark color. But if you want to talk something not serious, such as humor, then you use bright color. These are the examples. So when you are doing presentation in a bright room, it's better that you use bright background with dark font. However, if your presentation is in a dark room where there is no light, it's better to use dark background with bright words. How about if you are doing presentation in a room where half of it is bright, half of it is dark, such as in an auditorium? Well, in ambient light like that, you can use combination of dark background and bright foreground. Occasionally, we put colorful picture in our slide. And sometimes when we put colorful picture in our slide, our eyes will be directed to the colorful picture instead of to the words we put on our slide. And that's because the picture is more colorful than our words. We have green, blue, yellow, red. They are more interesting than black. So what are you going to do if you are creating a slide where you have one object which is colorful and is going to distract the attention of your audience? This is what you have to do. By creating highlight, you make people pay attention to both objects. That people look at the bright color and people also pay attention to the highlight. So this is what we call as reverse type. So if you are thinking about creating slideshow and you want to get your audience eyes to focus on your message, not just on the photo, try reverse type. This is the best strategy. Adjust color to your topic, whatever your topic is. And then learn about contrast. Again, case example of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. Now, when we take a look at Bill Gates' presentation, again, there are too many pictures, there are too many words. Problem become bigger when we look at Bill Gates' slides, where some of the words blends with the background of the slide. We have green and blue as a background, but the words, they don't stand out. The words blend with the background color. As a result, it's very difficult to read the words. We can only read the words which are bright but not the other words because they blend with the background. And this is what happens if you use too many colors. Make your presentation simple. Make your slide simple. Think about contrast. If the background is dark, then the foreground must be bright. Or the other way around. If the foreground is dark, then the background must be bright. And Steve Jobs understood that. In his slide, the color of the background color is dark, but he put bright words, bright color for his presentation. When we display charts, they don't have to be colorful all the time. Why not work in monochrome? Actually, monochrome chart is very good in emphasizing. So, picture on the left, there are every bar has its own color, and it's really difficult to tell which one is more important than the other. Well, we can say that okay, the one bar is longer, so that's the most important thing. But if you want to emphasize on something, it's better that you work in monochrome, like the slide on the right. This is good. So our attention will be on USA. Another example is like this. So work in monochrome if you want to show or emphasize something. Choose your font well. Well, I have explained it to you. When you design PowerPoint slideshow, always use sans serif. Don't use serif. Take a look at these two examples. Let's compare Times New Roman and Arial. They are both 48 points. Yeah, I repeat, they are both 48 points. Which sentence do you feel easy to read? Yeah, I believe Arial is easier to read. How about the next one? So, serif and sans serif, that's the difference. With serif, we have these outer edges. Serif font don't have serif. Now, and when we compare serif and sans serif, we see that serif font is bigger than serif. Sans serif is bigger than serif. And that's because sans serif is thicker, so it can be big. Serif font tend to be thin. And we put them into sentence, it's going to be like this. See, when you compare Garamond and Helvetica, Helvetica is bigger than Garamond. And the words, the letters in Garamond is very tight. They are in tight group. While in Helvetica, the letters are a bit stretched. So it's easy for our eyes to read. The same thing when we compare Bookman All Style with Verdana. Bookman All Style is not that easy to read. Verdana is easier because it's bigger than Bookman All Style. So use sans serif when you design slideshow. And sans serif font can be like Verdana, Helvetica, Gill Sans. Serif font is only good for printed material like books, newspaper, magazines. They are good for that, but not for slideshow. For slideshow, you stick with sans serif. Avoid fancy fonts. These days, people like to play with fonts. They use cool fonts in their slide, but they don't realize that actually when you abuse using fancy fonts, then you make your slide not interesting, not good to look at, less to read. I give you examples. This is still good enough in our eyes. But how about this? Benefits of bicycling. Okay, that's good for title, but why do you keep the same font, the same fancy font for body? It's not easy to read this kind of letters. Now this font is easy, but then again, it's kind of boring if you use the same font for title and body. Comic Sans? Really? You're still using Comic Sans? Come on. When you do a business presentation, then you have to be professional. And I don't think Comic Sans is cool for business presentation, especially academic presentation. Alright, this is fun, benefits of bicycling. But what's with the fancy font in the body text? So we have more and more examples of why using fancy font might not always work in making your slide cool. So instead of this, then what you have to do is this. Benefits of holding a party. Now we have a cool font for the title, but for the body text, we use conservative font because for the title, we can use fancy font for title because we want to catch attention. We want to attract people. But when it comes to body text, use conservative font. because people want to focus on the content, not just on the appearance. Or you can try combination of different color, like this one, dangers of smoking, and I use different color, dangers in red, because I want to talk about something dangerous. So red is associated with danger, health deteriorating, cultivate addiction, burning money. So there you go. You have a nice combination of using different font for title and body text and different colors. One more strategy you can use is playing with the font size. So changing one type of font or using bigger font size than other can also send a good message. And you can also put your audience attention on the keywords, like joy in blogging. The word joy is bigger than blogging. And we have develop writing skill, expand knowledge, cultivate analytical mind, and I enlarge the word develop, expand, cultivate, because I want people attention on that words, on those words. So you have three ways to create your slide and design your message. Avoid sound effects. PowerPoint today have sound effects, but they are not always cool. Want a proof? Take a look. Take a look at this. Ooh, so long. It's better to make it like that. So avoid sound effect if it's not contextual. Now, when you are done with your slideshow, when you are done with designing, creating your slideshow, you can click save. But after that, overview, observe the whole slideshow. Just click the icon that I have circled in red. This is the best way to have a general look of your slideshow. Take a look at your slideshow before you close PowerPoint. Make sure that everything is correct, everything is right. You put the right pictures, you arrange the picture nicely, you put the right words, you put the words in good size which people can read. And when you are done, when you are sure that this is the right slideshow, this is how your slideshow is going to be like, then you can close your PowerPoint. So, my message in modern slideshow, you have to be to the there are three B's in modern slideshow. Be to the point, be amazingly simple, and be awesomely attractive. Focus on the content. Don't talk about anything else. Focus on the content first. After that, you can try to make your slideshow as amazing as possible and simple enough for people to understand. Remember, when you do your presentation, you don't just present for yourself. You present for people. Some people don't your people, your audience, they don't know what you are talking about. So it is your job as a presenter to make them understand what you are talking about. And I believe as long as you apply these three principles, you will be a great slideshow designer and you are going to be great in delivering your slideshow. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.